Namaste, angels. I'm going to do a half-hour client reading for a woman about whom I don't really know anything, but I do know she's a Cancer, and that's why I'm doing her reading today. Today's her birthday, or yesterday, whatever. Her birthday just showed up, and so she purchased this reading for herself, her first reading in like 18 years for her birthday. So I decided to do her reading out of turn. I'm beginning with Sacred Union. There's also two gentlemen in question, as I understand, one that she's actually currently with, in a relationship with, and the other that she believes to be the partner. And from the sounds of it, I would agree too. So beginning with Sacred Union and opening to Balance, which might indicate that there is a water, again, I know she's a water sign, and there's a blue female here that would represent water. Masculine may be an air sign. I don't know. This card also tends to represent for me the sign of Sagittarius, because it feels like temperance from the traditional tarot for me. And it's all about coming into balance and wholeness and, better health, spiritual health, emotional health, oneness, getting as close to that as we can. The energy of temperance is all about being restored, right? Recovering, being made whole again, as far as I'm concerned. So it can relate to a relationship too, to the individuals and to the relationship, about the union coming into balance, the couple coming into balance together, and wholeness and oneness. Sacred Union. Heaven on Earth. This one brings in the energy of air and fire, as you can see. Heaven on Earth is about the need to let go of something that is no longer of purpose in our lives. It's something that we're holding on to, though we've been hesitant to let go of it, even though we know we're supposed to and we need to. It's taking up a space where something really awesome that the universe wanted to bless us with would be, were we not holding on so tightly to this other thing. And it can be a relationship, it can be emotions, things that need to be released from our spirit. It can be combinations of those. I often find it's things like regret and resentment and, like old pain, old wounds that we just never allowed to close. Like blame, and, it's a lot of self-blame. If I had done this, then this, I wouldn't be in this relationship, or I wouldn't be in this position. Maybe I should have done that at that time, and I didn't. It's my fault. I'm stuck here now. When we're really not, even stuck, there's always a way out. Opposite Heaven on Earth, something could be taking up the space where this union would go. Where Sacred Union and Blessings, to talk about the things the universe wants to give us, but we're taking up space with something else. It's this exactly. And here again, looks like being blessed with a Sacred Union. Blessings. I'm going to cut, get the cards good and mixed up. And it's message from afar. Somebody may be a fire sign. Yeah, somebody may be a fire sign. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Or an air sign. Right now we have a couple of combinations of fire and air in the universe. So we just had that Heaven on Earth card that I said depicted fire and air for me. Mercury is in Aquarius, and both Venus and, Mars is in Aquarius. Fire planet Mars is in Aquarius, retrograde in Aquarius. And air elements, Venus and Mercury, are both in Leo. So there may be a connection there too with one of the air signs and or an actual direct fire sign. More importantly, this card is about paying attention to the guidance that we've been getting. So let's say, for example, with that Heaven on Earth card, the universe keeps telling you, let go of this thing, let go of this emotion, change your perspective here, in this relationship, in that friendship, or restore this one, you know, fix that one, repair this, and we don't do it, then we're leaving things, you know, we're blocking our blessings. We're blocking our blessings. I was looking for a different way to say what I was trying to say. There can also be actual 3D communications coming, and maybe from afar, you know, long distance phone calls or something, online communication. Aquarius, like the planet of technology. And of course also about communication being an air sign. Overall energy is forgiveness, and I was feeling this too. That's why I said I felt like emotions and blame, self-blame. So when we do this forgiveness, we always want to begin with ourselves. So I'm going to lay, I don't know, I'm feeling like 3, and I usually lay more than that, but I think 3 for each person. So this will represent the masculine energy with whom she is currently in a relationship, and this will represent the other. One that she's with fear. It's be fear of her leaving because he knows that it's not right too. Perhaps he's the air sign. It's possible too. He may be the air sign. Here is the mystic. The mystic for me is kind of, it's a lot like the high priestess. In that also the high priestess for me about air and water. In that case, particularly Gemini and the water signs. In this one, particularly Aquarius and the water signs. But it's about the need to pay attention to our intuition and gut feelings and things. And it may be showing up here next to fear because he is getting messages and gut feelings, and maybe is afraid of change, losing you. All of the above. You know, people are afraid of the unknown. I'm used to this. This is comfortable. This works. You know, I don't want to go into something else, even though it might be the best idea. So to pay attention to the guidance that we get from within. And also this indication of a need for healing. Nothing very romantic here in this top row. This healing, perhaps to work on this, fear, ego, head to toe is what's needed here with him. And then the surrender that allows for it to actually happen. Vulnerability. That could be what he's afraid of too, being vulnerable. The other gentleman, miracles. So blessings attached to his energy. Also the heaven on earth card back, and the need to release something so that the miracle, the blessing can come in. Something you have to let go so that there's room for the blessing. You have to vacate the space. Boom. You saw me shuffle. So basically what this is saying, it's kind of like I did the reading already. You do in fact, you know, ultimately want this relationship, you will have to release this one. And there's ways that we can do that compassionately and lovingly, and like supporting each other along the way. You know, I'm still very close to my children's father, for example. We were married for 20 years, over 20 years. It was no longer the right thing to be. I don't hate him. He doesn't hate me. You know, in fact, we're still pretty good friends. But our energy changed. We evolved. We evolved. And if we're not evolving, like, why are we here? You know, we all need to be continuing to evolve and to change. Not necessarily grow apart, but that's sometimes part of it too. And then we deal with that. And there are ways to, you know, still maintain some sort of relationship, whatever relationship is now appropriate for us. We can do that. in either case, whatever you do this part. You know, whether there's moving on or there's not, do this part and release the negative emotions and attachments associated with either situation, or both. And then just well, actually I was going to say, and then within, actually first within, whatever negative emotions you have about yourself, release those first, and then extend the same to other people. You know, like when you're in a plane and, you know, they tell you that the thing drops down, you have to take care of yourself first. You put the mask over yourself first and, you know, heal your breathing and make your oxygen, make sure that you're okay before you even extend it to your child, you know, or the person next to you, or whatever. That's what this is. Extend the forgiveness and everything, and the love and stuff to yourself first, and then to the other parties involved. So I'm going to shuffle these up again. So now beginning with the forgiveness. Opening to embrace, which is another card that reflects the energy of the sign of Sagittarius for me, and the energy of temperance from the traditional tarot. And it is about also coming into oneness and wholeness and balance, and self-love, and, you know, removing energies, releasing energies of self-blame. This looks like a couple in a really, you know, loving embrace. It's really one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a healthy, harmonious way. So that's what we all want to achieve. Forgiveness and golden path. Golden path, for me, it's like the whole card reminds me of the movie The Wizard of Oz. And I don't know if you can see, but here in this like forests, like, right, there's all these trees here, but there's also like rainbows. In The Wizard of Oz, there's this song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And it's like, basically, long story short, miracles happen right over the rainbow is what the song is really about. But also, there's the yellow brick road in The Wizard of Oz. And it's very reminiscent of this golden path for me. At the end of the yellow brick road, or the reason they were trying to ease on down the road, if you saw The Wiz instead of The Wizard of Oz, the reason they were trying to ease on down the road is because at the end of the road was the Emerald City. And that was where they were going to find healing, right? They were all going to be healed of their ailments. The Cowardly Lion was going to get a heart, and the Tin Man was going to get, I forgot what he was going to get. The Scarecrow was going to get a brain, right? Yeah. No, the Cowardly Lion was going to get courage. The Tin Man was going to get a heart, and the Scarecrow was going to get a brain, and Dorothy was going to heal her amnesia, whatever, her coma, and get back home, right? Figure out how to get back home. And this is about our path toward healing too. And I believe that at the end of the golden path, similar to at the end of the yellow brick road, here, there it's the Emerald City. Here it's the Emerald Ray, like the ray of healing. And, all the master healers waiting at the end, Archangel Raphael and, Jesus the Christ, and maybe the goddess Isis herself, right? Thoth. I'm talking about really master healers. They're at the end waiting to like cheer us on and support us and, say you did it, you made it. In the meantime, this card shows up to say that you're on the right path toward this, become closer to oneness, right? This tends to represent for me like the divine feminine, the divine masculine, in no particular order. It could be reversed the other way. This is the divine, and we're both trying to get like nearer and dearer to it. That's the purpose of this path. And do you see like the colors, the similarity here, even the shapes and things that are here? This looks like the same background. Like this looks like it's on the horizon from here. It's far away. And now we've gotten like really close to it in this card, right? We're like standing right up on it in this card. Here it's in the distance. Golden path, And inner child. Somebody may have an inner child that would like to communicate, and something that we need to heal from the past, whether it's from our childhood or other past relationships or situations. I'm going to work on it. That person may or may not be an air sign. And if they are, more specifically, they might be an Aquarius. But this energy of Aquarius and air signs and communication could be coming through in general, because again, this inner child has something to say. Golden path. And it's love. How awesome. Overall energy is sorrow. This can be representative of pain. Again, things that we're harboring, emotions that we're harboring, that we're holding on to. Sometimes we don't even realize until we stop and talk to that inner child, and we think back and we go, you know what? I never did heal that situation, that circumstance, that feeling. Here it is coming up again all these years later. So it could be that. Also, whatever brought about the energy of forgiveness a few moments ago in the other spread could be what's prompting this too, right? Where there's a need for forgiveness, there's typically pain. Somebody was hurt. Divine feminine about herself, the masculine about the feminine, himself, and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine will have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union, what he himself is willing to. What the universe would have the two do, surrender, contribute toward the union, and the outcome. And when I do this from the masculine perspective, it is, of course, the other gentleman, the one that for which the sacred union in the miracles card popped up. Divine feminine, abundance. So you, and I know you spend a lot of time in nature, keep doing it. Keep doing it. That is going to help you to continue to open up to the flow of abundance in all forms coming to you. This card is representative for me of earth and air signs and the planet Venus and goddess Venus herself. All about surrendering, spending time with her, you know, maybe doing something meditative, perhaps outdoors with her, you know, as many opportunities as you are able to take to spend with her, please do. I know you do already though, but yeah, keep it up. Keep up the good work. Masculine about the feminine, tantric union. This is like, even when we can't be together, if we can't be together, you know, there's still communication, there's still connection. The masculine definitely keeps it, you know, alive, as alive as the feminine does. This can be coming up in dreams, visions, synchronicities and things. You can just feel it. You can just feel it. The connection always present. And, you know, sometimes this card represents actual coming into, you know, actual contact, and even, you know, sexual energy further to that. But it doesn't have to be. It's about ascended relationships, you know, so ascended energy. It's like on a different level, whether it is whether you do get to come into contact in the physical or not. There's still this very strong and otherworldly like thing going on. The masculine about himself as it relates to the union, soulmate. So he feels that, or at least his higher self does. And here we have another one of these color schemes coming together. This is what he feels his position is as it relates to you. You know, his role is soulmate. And the union as a whole, golden memories. So this is very similar to the Heaven on Earth card, the Golden Memories card. For one thing, though, it tends to represent fire signs for me. So I don't know if somebody's a fire sign, or again, if the energy of fire is showing up, because a lot of fire and air is together right now. But whether anybody's a direct fire sign or not, it's about the need to drop our heavy baggage and not bring it any further, not bring it with us. Like, take the golden memories, the things that made you smile, the things that made you happy about your relationships and your experiences in your life, and leave behind, you know, those emotions that I mentioned before, like the blame and the regret and resentment, the inability to forgive, and you know, like just brushing over things and hoping they'll go away and all that kind of stuff. Like, address it, release it, and then you can move forward. You know, lighten yourself and move forward. I tell people when I see all this lava and stuff, take that heavy bag of crap and drop it like a hot fucking rock. Drop it like you can't hold. It's going to burn a hole in your hand if you try to continue to carry it. Overall, celebration. This shows up to represent the sacredness, the sanctity of the whole situation. That this is connected to some sort of otherworldly thing, you know, a divine ascended connection and relationship. Oh, the masculine have the feminine to do surrender. Contribute toward the union here. I got stuck looking at this card again with the sorrow. I don't know, it wanted me to see it again, but I didn't. I thought something was coming in and didn't. Listening. So again, this is connected to the energy of air signs. So quite possibly Aquarius with this star here. In the traditional tarot, the star represents the sign of Aquarius. It is about dreams coming true, you know, your prayers being answered, your wishes being granted. So those miracles that we saw, but it's also about communication. And for me, I always say, like, particularly communication of like an electronic means, because again, Aquarius rules technology, and you know, so being a communication sign also, it's like email, FaceTime, you know, maybe some kind of contact over social media, some kind of electronic communication, but also this, like tantric union, telepathy, the connection without, you know, media. We don't need media, right? We have our souls that speak to one another. This is also about, again, guidance that you're receiving from the universe, the need to spend time with the universe, listening, and then following the guidance that you're getting. What is the masculine himself willing to do here toward this union? Come up with creative ways to, you know, create abundance for himself and toward the union as well. This can be abundance in all forms, you know, more love, maybe a means to support, like a job, something about his passion, creative ways to pursue his passions. This card for me, again, connected to the energy of Aquarius with the star here, but also Pisces, these translucent fish, maybe other water sign, maybe your Cancer. Certainly with the moon back here, the moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces, but the moon in the sky rules the sign of Cancer. So definitely water signs, fire signs, this red-winged angel here. And then she's also a water bearer for me. She's got a star over her third eye. She's holding a vessel with water spilling out of it, and she's standing in a pool. So she's an Aquarius also. So it's very representative of this Mars and Aquarius for me right now with all this red, you know, and that energy. What will the universe have the two to do? Aww, Moon Tree. Moon Tree is a card of sacred marriage. And you have that heaven on earth card. This card is about the marriage between heaven and earth, and also the marriage between two sacred beings. So the universe guides you guys, you know, to come together. That's what the universe would have you do. And the outcome here, the mystic. Pay attention to the syncs, the synchronicities, the gut feelings, your intuition, the messages from afar. Listen to those signs you get from one another, to the universe. There may be room for actual 3D communication, in which case we'll also be guided to, you know, attentively listen and hear one another out. Also that inner child, listen there too. Communicate with that inner child. Find out what, you know, she has to say, what she wants, what she needs, so that you can give it to her. Going to my cards, I'm beginning with my Angel Tarot. I'm beginning with the Eight of Water. A desire to move on. the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. So this is like somebody wanting to walk away from something, to walk towards something else. Often it can be, or yeah, that's pretty much what it tends to be. It's not necessarily something physical, but again, like an energy, like a change of space. I need something more. I'm not becoming enlightened here. Like this doesn't do it for me anymore. This scene, these people. And so it's that kind of thing. Opening to the Page of Air, who's logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, and an air sign showing up again. The Page of Air is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to these traits or attributes, or again could be representing the planets Mercury or Venus themselves. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Page of Air, and its major arcana card, Ego, which is the devil in the traditional tarot. All about feeling trapped and stuck when we're really not. Like we can make our way out, but since it's not easy and we have to actually make that way and move some obstacles, we'd rather just say, oh, woe is me, I'm stuck here, I can't get out. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. The devil, or the ego card, represents the sign of Capricorn. Page of Air, and the Three of Air, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. We've already discussed that. Also, Three of Air, can be connected to some sort of party of three, and very likely involving an air sign in this case. Three of Air, about loss, pain, hurt, the need for forgiveness. And opening to the Ace of Fire, new beginning, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement or relationship advancement, the wand and all of that good stuff. Change your life now. Ace of Fire, I'm going to cut. And it's the Six of Fire, victory. Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. Overall energy is renewal or judgment in the traditional tarot, which for me represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Judgment is about abundance that's earned. And as it relates to relationships, it's about a crossroad. Now, twos can be about partnership and relationship also. Where this card relates to relationships, it's about like having come to a crossroad, or this point where it's like, okay, like now what? Where do we go from here, if anywhere? What are we doing? And you address it accordingly. Crowning the masculine, the Seven of Water, a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. The Seven of Water tends to represent for me the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which it rules, but it doesn't have to be an actual person. It's just that kind of energy. It's not a court card or anything. So, definitely not necessarily a person, but it's that kind of energy of dreamy and foggy, and I got so many options, and what am I going to do? And I'm looking at the future, and I got to make a decision, but I'm not really doing anything to make a decision. I'm not taking action, but I know I have to. It's that kind of energy. Procrastination and daydreaming. Masculine surrounded by justice. Major Arcana card 8. And here's our 8-11. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. Justice and judgment together in the same spread, especially. We could be waiting for an actual decision. An actual, and maybe even a legal decision. we could be waiting for here, or needing to make a decision with regard to some sort of legality. Masculine subconscious is the Four of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to the less fortunate. It doesn't have to be money. It can be any kind of abundance. So it can be love. It can be like yourself, like giving too much of yourself or withholding yourself too much. Justice and judgment can sometimes come up when there's, and it doesn't have to be legality, but it can be things like divorce. I'm trying to think of, renewal and justice to get. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, when I touched that and moved it, behind it is the World with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. It's Major Arcana card number 21 equals 3. So also potentially about a party of 3. And what the World is similar to the Heaven on Earth card and the Golden Miracles. It's like there's something that you needed to let go of and you have not. And you've sort of like overstayed your welcome, and you know it. And you've overstayed your own personal welcome. You've crossed your own personal boundary in this regard. And now the universe is agreeing with you and is stepping in to help you to say, let me ease you out of this situation because it's gone on long enough. It's too long now. And it can be a relationship, a job, all of these things that we know we need to make a change, and we just avoid it because, again, it's a matter of convenience sometimes. It's just easier to stay here, or it's less scary. It's fear of the unknown. I don't know what the new job would be like. I don't know what the new relationship would be like, or what it would be like to be single. I've been with somebody for so long. How's single going to be? How I'm going to take care of myself? I need their money. All these things that go through our heads. So there's an idea of of releasing all that kind of stuff when you see these two together. All right, crowning the feminine. This is like the energy of worry and paranoia, anxiety, sleepless nights, potentially manifesting negativity into your own life with that fear and ego and stuff. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. Surrounding the feminine, the Three of Air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So maybe she's worried about inflicting pain. She doesn't want to cause anybody any harm or pain. In the feminine subconscious, the Ten of Fire, though, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that leads to stress-related health concerns. So you could be causing yourself physical pain and illness by trying to continue to carry the load by yourself. The good news is when this card shows up, it's a 10. It means we've pretty much reached the end of this chapter of you being overburdened by whatever this is. Crowning, the Two of Fire. You've come into your own new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. The Two of Fire is the divine union or twin flame card of the tarot. It otherwise relates to, other types of partnerships and friendship, business partnership too, and moving forward that way. But all these 3s and 2s, they, is definitely a sign of somebody, is going to be left out. There's all these options here, and we're going to pick one, and the rest are going to go by the wayside. At the root, the Seven of Air, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. The Seven of Air tends to represent the energy of joy stealing for me. And we could steal our own joy with our own lack of confidence, our own anxiety, our own fear. Otherwise, it can be somebody else trying to take, and sometimes it's physical thievery, right? Something turns up missing. At the heart of the matter, the King of Fire, who's idealistic, but I skipped this one. Motivational, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, 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 and communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire is the representation in the tarot of the divine masculine, so he's one half of this Two of Fire. He is also a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. If he's a direct fire sign, he may also be a Scorpio, also ruled by Mars, along with Aries. And he's somebody who is, these things. He's a leader, right? He's a go-getter. He's very passionate about But when it comes to his passions, he's a leader and a go-getter. And he may be older too. I want to do a little clarification of the Seven of Water, I think, and the Seven of Air. So I'll take this one for the Seven of Water. Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging and a new area of study. So this is wanting to bring about some kind of change in life, but it's also an indication that there is, you know, a financial or career blessing coming your way. So here in the masculine's foundations, we had the element of earth as well. And so that he could have been pondering something about the material, you know, connected to the material world, and maybe concerned about losing that. But he will not, is what this is showing here. The Page of Earth, if it's a person in his life, because court cards can also often represent actual people, is a Virgo or a Capricorn or a Taurus. And if Capricorn or Taurus, maybe a younger one with the page having shown up, or this could represent a child too, and not necessarily a baby, but like a younger person, let's look at your Three of Air. Connected to the Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. It's the Knight of Water. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water is a Cancer like yourself, and I think this is your own energy actually. A Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio, or someone likened to these traits or attributes. And I think it was, like I said, like you're concerned about hurting other people. Like you just want to bring them love, and so you're worried about your actions hurting them. But in doing that, then you're like ignoring yourself. So you're leaving you out. And I want to look at the Seven of Air. And it's the Sun. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. And that would make these all three of the cards in this row about fire at this point. So I think that this, particularly crossing these here, at least for you, not necessarily the masculine, but for you, is about stealing your own joy again, because you're concerned about other people. And that's, I get it, you know, it's a feminine thing, a female thing, a thing that mothers do. We put everybody before ourselves. But these cards show that you will succeed in like releasing this negative energy. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's, you know, you have to work on that. But ultimately, the outcome will be good. You will succeed and be able to clearly pursue your passions, you know, the things or the people about whom you are passionate or not. You'll be able to make a clear-headed decision, you know, as opposed to here, where just being all in your head, like overanalyzing, overthinking, beating yourself up, blaming yourself. And that's probably where those feelings of blame, self-blame that I was feeling came from. This concern about wanting to hurt, not wanting to hurt others in decisions that you make for yourself. I didn't even use these, but there was an older gentleman that showed up here too, with which I was going to start it. Well, to the masculine from this deck is new love, so like a new beginning, and I think this is like representing the end of a chapter for him. Could be the end of a chapter in a few areas. Definitely I'm feeling like finances or career too, that there's a change coming for him, and it may be in August. With the Page of Earth, this is attached to the energy of Virgo. It's sitting here atop the 8 Major Arcana card 8, which is Justice. So I think getting his just due. I've been seeing a lot about 811, as I'm sure you've known. And this card has a big 811 on it. It is about justice coming. So like, even where it's not an actual legal situation, finally getting our just due, right? Where things had been stagnant, things had been tough before. So I feel that coming in with the energy of Virgo for him. And now I'm getting if this can even begin, this shift for him, like an individual shift for personal, can even begin as of like within the next week or so, when Venus, ruler of Libra, which this card represents, enters Virgo. And I think she does that on the 10th of July. And then soon after that, actually, there will be the new moon in Cancer. And that's going to bring about new beginnings, the birth of new things. And there will also be a partial solar eclipse that is also going to push us forward. And I see good things definitely for the masculine with that. For you here from this deck, freedom. Freedom. I mean, we've seen this throughout, though, that there's something from which you need to break away, pull away, something, someone, someplace, maybe a combination of those. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, what that is, who that is. Again, for the masculine, sacred union. And you saw me shuffle these cards a second time. Shuffle and cut in 6. Okay? It is what it is. For you, guardian. So you're not alone in this also. When you have this fear here, when these fears come up, and you're not alone. And you do have somebody to talk to, even if you can't necessarily see them. You should feel confident in that. Lastly, from the Angel Tarot, for the masculine, the King of Water, who's trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work. From where I stand, charity work is love. Anytime we're giving of ourselves freely and without agenda, that's love. So that's the kind of person the King of Water is. The King of Water, like yourself, is a Cancer, Pisces, a Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And again, perhaps a little older, being the king. And for you here, the 6 of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. And I feel that this may be a few of, like, all of those issues regarding children, like maybe your own children. They could be among the people that you don't want to hurt. Memories from your history or childhood. You got the golden memories. You got things from the past that you want to take with you, or that you need to take with you, and things you need to leave behind. You have the inner child to talk to. So there's some things from your own childhood, perhaps, or your past, with which you still need to deal. And then there's the other message that the 6 of Water tends to represent soulmate relationships, and often can be about like bumping into old friends, and old, loves returning to our life, reconciliation and reunion. I hope that you've enjoyed your reading and found it helpful. Namaste, Angel.